Hello, baby.
Hello, nasty. Hello there.
Hello.
I say hello.
Hello, friend.
Well, hello, little girl.
Hello, my treacherous friends.
Hello, operator. The beginning of everything.
Welcome back, my friends.
It's showtime.
Hey everybody, it's the Brink of Sanity, episode 184. How you doing, Marc?
Good. How you doing?
I am doing really great.
Really great.
Yeah.
So I asked you before the show, I was like, how you're doing? You were like, fine. But you're saving the good stuff for the actual show?
Oh yeah, I'm bringing my A material now that the show's on.
It's like, screw you. I won't actually have to talk to you. I'm not going to think of anything to say. But the show, I'll say something. What's so great?
Fall came back with like a vengeance. It's like the very first day of fall. Fall's like, fuck you, it's cold out. Screw your immune system. Everyone's getting sick. I'm fucking fall.
I think it's been pretty nice still.
Well, I'm sick, so fuck fall.
I don't get sick anymore. I did away with that when I was younger.
Did you?
Yeah, I don't get sick anymore.
You must tell me your secrets.
I'm unbreakable.
I get like 2 to 3 colds a year, but
Really?
Yeah,
That's a
I-
lot of colds.
but they're usually minor colds.
I don't get sick that often.
I don't
actually
get
make
like
fun of-
sick.
I make fun of
sick.
my wife for because she gets sick more often than I do.
I don't get the flu or anything. I don't get like really sick.
Do you get the flu shot?
No.
Okay.
I-
Have you ever gotten the flu shot?
Yeah, I got the flu shot and nothing happened, and I didn't get the flu shot and nothing happened. So I figured I'll just not get the flu shot for now on.
Your logic's amazing.
I did I sampled both sides of the fence and same results. So why get shot?
Have you ever gotten the flu?
I don't think so.
I guess you'd know if you did. I've never gotten the flu. I don't think I've ever gotten the flu, I guess, also.
I mean,
never
I've
gotten
had
the flu shots.
terrible colds. I don't know what the difference between a really bad cold and a flu is.
No, I've never really I haven't had a terrible cold in years.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, you're lucky.
I am lucky.
You sniffle a lot, though.
I only sniffle on our show. Other than that, I stopped.
Oh, okay. You just save that good stuff for the show.
I just save it for the show.
Okay.
So you have a cold, and that's what the fall has brought to you?
It also brought me the new Grand Theft Auto.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So now I'm like, oh, cool. I have a cold. Now I have an excuse to stay in and play it.
I liked the one that was in New York City.
Yeah, that was the last one.
I remember I never really played the missions, but I'd like to go up on buildings and shoot people like sniper style. That was probably a bad thing to do as far as like the other thing. Like I don't know why even the game has that feature, but it was kind of fun.
Oh yeah, no, I did a bunch of that. Or you just I like standing on the roof of a car that somebody else is driving and shoot my rocket launcher over it, and the guy in the car gets scared and drives like crazy.
I would also just try to basically just try to start a fight with someone or kill someone until then run from the cops. Until I get caught.
But my new thing is that the electric socket that my cable box, my Xbox, and my TV is plugged into likes to flicker every 35 to 40 minutes now. And when it flickers, everything turns off and on. So all my recordings stop, my game turns off.
Wait, what's everything plugged into?
A power strip that's plugged into the wall.
Why don't you buy a new power strip?
I tried a different power strip, and it's doing that for that power strip too. So I think it's the actual electrical socket.
Oh, yeah. Why don't you just try a different electrical socket to see if it's not the cable box, or I guess it has to be electrical socket.
I tried a different electrical socket, and it did it. So now I split up the plugs into 2 different sockets with 2 different strips to like give each socket half the power.
Yeah.
I did that about 3 hours ago, and it hasn't happened yet. But the weird thing is, like, nothing changed from like last week to when I got Grand Theft Auto. It's just as soon as I got Grand Theft Auto, it was like my house doesn't want me to play the game.
So you're sick. Your outlet, your electric outlets no longer work properly, and you're cold.
Yeah, and all my preparations for my cold, like to record things and to get games so I don't have to go outside, is ruined.
You're like, oh great, I'm sick. I'm just gonna sit in the couch and watch TV. Oh fuck, it's off. Wait, fuck, it's not working again.
Exactly. And when it flickers, the recording stops, and then the whole cable box has the reboot, which takes like 10 minutes. So
And I tried reading a book. My book burst into flames.
I recorded the Avengers show, and I think I have like the first 10 minutes, the second 30 minutes, and like the last 5 minutes.
I'm gonna hold off watching that. You could watch it on demand probably, but I want to see what you think of it because you're probably more at that kind of show. I watched Blacklist, which actually was kind of decent.
Is it weird that the guy who died in the Avengers movie is the main character in the show?
You ruined the movie for me. Way to give me a spoiler. No,
You
I
didn't see
watch
the movie? What?
I saw like the first 20 minutes because it's on demand, and I was like,
It's so good.
is it really that good?
It's probably my favorite superhero movie.
Really, it's better than Batman?
Come on.
Come on.
Well, I mean, are you talking about the 1989 Batman? Because that's my favorite Batman.
I'm talking about the Adam West 1960 movie. No, I was talking the 89 one with Jack Nicholson.
That's definitely the best one.
But the ones with Dark Knight are pretty good. Like one with Joker was pretty good.
The one with Bane was terrible, but the other two were all right.
I was just watching that last night. They had it on Cinemax, which I have for like 3 months from Time Warner. They fucked something up for me. They gave me Cinemax.
Mm-hmm.
And first of all, his voice is so goddamn ridiculous in that movie.
Which
it almost
ones?
ruins the entire movie.
Batman or Bane's? They're both ridiculous.
Bane's voice.
All I hear is Batman.
Listen, shady people of New York or whatever, Gotham, you'll have freedom. It's like I don't even understand his plan. It's just weird.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. It's a terrible movie. Speaking of Grand Theft Auto, a douchebag stole a truck, kidnapped a woman, and tried to reenact Grand Theft Auto. This is a real story.
What happened?
He claimed that I think I actually have audio on this one. Are we just not going to cooperate? Okay. Anyway, a guy claimed that he wanted to see what it was like to be a Grand Theft Auto individual. That was his quote. I guess to take a car and strike several vehicles at a high rate of speed. This is the way he talks, apparently.
Actually, I have a quote. I'm actually reading the story also. There's a quote from his mom. When he was younger, he liked to throw mushrooms at people and reenact Tetris.
Wait, mushrooms and Tetris?
Super Mario Brothers. I thought the mushroom would be he likes to pick up mushrooms and plants and throw them at like Goonie things.
His stupid mom doesn't even know what game she's talking about.
I'm not reading the real article. I'm making it up. What are you?
I was trying to bail you out there. But all right.
Okay, whatever.
So anyway, now they're gonna come out with a big stink that violent games should be banned and they're dangerous and they're it has nothing to do with the fact that this guy's crazy.
What is a better chance of being banned? Violent video games or guns?
Violent video games.
They're much more likely to like put restrictions on video games than guns.
Yep. That's the insane thing. Oh, guess where this guy's from?
He's not from, say, New York.
No, he's not.
Where's he from?
Louisiana.
You forgot we have a lot of Louisiana listeners.
So I finally finished the last phase of my cable TV debacle. I had to return the satellite from that. Remember I told you that internet provider that gave me 5 gigs the entire month?
No, you didn't tell me what happened. You changed what cable system are you on
I
now?
canceled Time Warner and I signed up with DirecTV, but they only do TV. They don't do internet. So they hooked me up with a third party, which is a satellite internet.
Okay.
But they did not tell me that they have a limit of 5 gigs a month for downloads.
Doesn't sound like a lot.
It's not. If you watch like 2 10-minute YouTube videos a night, you'll use up to 5 gigs.
So, wait, did you have to pay them?
Well, I called them and I'm like, what's up with the 5 gigs? They're like, oh, well, you can, you actually get 10, but the other 5 gigs you have to use between 11 p.m. and 7 a.m. was like,
How
oh,
much
while
was
I'm
this
sleeping.
plan? Like $1 a month?
No, it was like $40 a month, I think. And that was their trial offer. The second year goes up to like 50. So I said, yeah, that's not
Was
really
it $40 a month and then you just steal someone's internet password? You're just on someone else's like account.
seriously. And they said, oh, you could go up to our higher plans, which have like 100 gigs a month, but those are like $79 a month. I was like, yeah, take all this back. So they mailed me a box, and I had to take one part off of the satellite dish. Apparently,
Yeah.
they didn't want the rest of the dish. They just wanted this one part. And the instruction booklet said in 3 different places that it's highly recommended that you get.
So you went to your roof to pick this off?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So now I'm on my roof. I'm with the instructions, and it says, we highly recommend that you get an installation expert to remove this part. 3 different
What would
places.
be an installation expert?
I don't know. It said it in 3 different spots.
Hey, Jay, what are you getting your PhD in? Installation expertise?
So this was the instructions. The cable wire that's plugged into this piece, cut it with a scissor. So I don't even have to be careful with the cable wire. I could just snip it. And part 2 is there is one screw connecting this piece. Unscrew it with a Phillips screwdriver. Do you know how mad I would have been if I called an installation expert to unscrew one screw?
What do you look under in the phone book for installation expert?
I don't know. Like, I don't know if our younger listeners even know about the phone book, but it was the most confusing thing of all time because nothing was ever under what you looked for.
There are still phone books out there.
I know. It's the thing I throw out like every 3 months that's left on my doorstep.
Yeah, they still send them to you, and you're like, I don't know what to do with this.
I know. It's like I leveled out all my chairs and desks with the pages, and I propped up my bed with the other ones, and now I don't need it anymore.
Actually, at work, sometimes we'll get like random phone calls actually from like the yellow pages asking us if we want to advertise. And I'm like, sure. Can you place my ad in 1995?
Or can you place my ad in not your Yellow Pages book, but somewhere else?
I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, great. Well, I just pass on to my bosses. I don't really care.
But anyway, nothing was where you looked for. You wanted pizza. You couldn't look under P for pizza. It was always under, like gourmet delivery or something weird.
It was actually pretty easy to use. Only Jay couldn't figure it out. That's what they invented the internet because Jay couldn't figure out the phone book.
Well, it was very nice of them because I could not get the handle of that.
But going back, wait. So what are you doing now for internet?
Did I not tell this story on the last show?
You made a show without me. I'm sure this sounds like a riveting story, so I don't think I would have forgotten.
So what I did is I tried to pull the wire out of my wall that was going from outside into inside.
Yeah.
And I kind of stripped the wire. I pulled the wire out, but the black, insulation part got stuck in the hole in the wall.
Yeah.
And I had cut the Time Warner wire to have the other installation in. So what I did is I called Time Warner and I said that my landlord was gardening in the back and accidentally cut the internet wire. And I asked them if they could just replace the wire. And so, of course, when they got there, there's a cut wire. I had threw out the other half that went into the house. So there's no other half. And there's absolutely no shrubbery near where the cut wire is. And the hole is stuffed with insulation from a different wire. But
You're like, sir, there's no garden or grass really. Yeah, during the gardening, he got rid of all that.
that's why he was back there for so long.
He was removing the grass to install pavement.
So the guy knew I was full of shit, but he really didn't have any proof, so they fixed it. So now I'm back with Time Warner for internet, but I still have DirecTV.
Time Warner's like, ha ha ha, we knew you'd never leave.
I know, they still got me for $50 a month, but at least it's not $150 a month.
Yeah, well, it's the same price. You might as well just go with Time Warner then, I guess.
Yeah, well, I mean, I still got the good cable TV.
You'll be back. That's what they all say. They have the good cable TV. You'll be back. Yeah. So Blacklist was actually pretty good. Did you watch it?
No, I've never even heard of it.
You didn't hear Blacklist? It's the show with James Spader. where he's the like the criminal that turns himself into the FBI and then helps him catch bad guys. But he has his own secret. He has his own agenda, which we have to find out about.
Oh no!
Lots of twists and turns. I don't know. The first episode moved kind of fast. It was kind of good.
I really like shows where there's a lot of questions that aren't answered.
Every show now has like all these like twists and turns and like. Yeah.
Everyone wants to be Lost. But
Well, yeah, because Lost gets popular.
Lost was popular, but by the end, everyone hated it.
You know, I used to think the end of Lost was terrible,
Mm-hmm.
but now I look back on it and think it was actually pretty good because I've seen Dexter, and the end of that show was so much worse than Lost. It makes Lost look like freaking Shakespeare in comparison.
It wasn't so much that the end of it was bad, it was that every single moment of the entire last season was terrible.
So we're going to talk about Dexter for a little bit. And if you guys don't watch Dexter, we'll try to entertain you anyhow.
Yeah, so the Dexter finale.
Dexter. So basically, Dexter, if you don't watch the show, it's about this guy who's a serial killer, but only kills bad guys. And he works for the FBI. So don't take that far. The Miami Police Department as a blood spatter expert, which I always thought was blood splatter until they pointed out on the show once that it was blood spatter, not splatter.
Really?
It's SPATTER, not splatter.
I did not know that the whole time I watched the show.
There was one episode where they mentioned it.
Oh, wow.
It was I think last season. I would have no idea how that they mentioned it. Like, who would ever think something that sounds? It sounds almost exactly what you think it is, but it's not.
Yeah, and it looks like splatter.
Like it's the whole time it was like you kept hearing blood splatter expert, and it turned out he was saying spatter expert.
Yeah.
Anyhow, so that show, I think you'd agree with me. The first, second, and fourth seasons were all like the best seasons.
Yeah, I mean, it was in the running for one of the best shows ever when it was at the end of the fourth season.
Yeah, like they had first season, whatever order you put them in. First season was really, really good. Second season was really good. Third season, you were like, not quite as good, a little mediocre of a season. And fourth season brought it back, great season also.
Third season was pretty bad.
Yeah, but you know, at the time though, you were like, it's bad, it's not that great, but you weren't really like, I'm going to give up on the show or anything. It was just like, it was a weaker season. I feel like that season looks worse in retrospect.
I thought it sucked for the first 8 episodes, and then I thought the last 4 were awesome. So overall, like, there was kind of a payoff at least.
There was some awesomeness at least.
Yeah.
And then, like, the end of the fourth season, it ends with, like, his wife getting killed, and you're thinking, like, the next season is going to start out awesome. Season 5, 6, I mean, there are 8 seasons total. 5, 6, 7, they're all terrible, actually, since then.
I liked 6.
There's some, you know, looking back on them, they look kind of good compared to the 8th season. But, like, some people like from the 5th, 6th, 7th season. There's a little bit, like, there's some good parts and some bad parts. Like, even the 7th season started off with his sister finding out that he was a serial killer, and you're going to say, like, what's going to happen? And the first couple episodes were really good of season 7.
Yeah.
But then, like, it was uneven, not that great. So anyhow, season 8 comes on. Season 8, the last season of the show, with a chance to do as much as they can, was the most boring and terrible thing I've ever seen on TV for a show that was supposed to be good.
Yeah, there wasn't like one good moment.
It was goddamn awful. Basically, they introduced a lot of different like plot lines, and the plot lines that all go away. There's someone that's supposed to be like his creator, and then she just dies. But her son's like the serial killer at the end of the show. Do you want to just talk about the last episode, or do we want to talk about?
All right, so this is the 19-minute mark. Skip ahead to the 30-minute mark if you don't want to hear about the last episode of Dexter.
Yes. And if you haven't watched Dexter in a bunch of years, you could just watch the last episode. You don't even need to watch anything else.
Because literally nothing happens.
Nothing happens. Basically, in the last episode,
there was so many comically ridiculous parts that it was like, at least everything that happened for the first 7 seasons, you could see happening. You know, it wasn't like, there may be things where there was pretty big coincidences, but you could at least buy it. By the time that last episode rolled around, they're like, we don't even care anymore. Like, just deal with this.
Right. It was there was some comments about the from the writers that they had to do the show earlier than expected because they were trying to align it with that show Ray
Donovan that nobody's going to watch anyway.
Yeah, but they tried to have them come out at the same time, so they made the show come out a few months earlier, which made the writers rush. And I think they basically made the season 8 like an FU to the. That's the only thing I could think of. Basically, they were like, "We have to go faster. Fine, screw you guys."
So this is my least favorite scene in the whole episode. The killer is walking through a supermarket parking lot. This parking lot is completely packed. I'm talking full with cars, people walking in and out, completely full parking lot, very active. He's pouring blood from his arm. Nobody says anything. Then he knocks a guy out as he's getting into his car, pushes him away, and then steals his car. And apparently nobody in the entire parking lot saw that.
You know what I hate? This is just so all the guy did was punch him. He didn't even kill the guy, right?
No, he didn't even kill him. But he knocked him. I mean, he knocked him out.
But like this show or like any mobster show, the guy always like he wants to steal his car or something like that. He just punches the guy and takes it from him, right?
Yeah.
In real life, you try to do that, there's a good chance the other guy could fight back and maybe I'll kick your ass. Wouldn't it be great if the other guy just kicked his ass?
It's really hard to knock somebody out in real life. In the movies, it looks like you just like give a guy a noogie and he's on the floor.
Yeah, I mean, you watch professional boxers, and they hit each other and they don't knock each other out.
And they're a hell of a lot stronger than we are.
Yeah, I mean, like, but that my favorite scene is Dexter. That they capture the bad guy. Dexter goes in to do some kind of test on the bad guy. Dexter no longer works for the police force. He murders the guy right there while there. And they're later on watching the footage of this. They're like, Dexter, why did you go in to do the test on him? Well, because I wanted to make sure it was done right. Dexter, you don't work here. Why do you even have a pass to go in there? And you just killed him. How are we gonna? It was self-defense. Okay, whatever.
Well, I also like how this is a guy who's murdered like dozens of people, and earlier in the episode, he cuts a guy's tongue out with an X-Acto knife. Yet when he's with Dexter, he grabs a pen and thinks his best defense is to stab Dexter in the shoulder.
The show, I mean, it's such a ridiculous episode. There's a hurricane coming. Dexter, they're in a hurricane, but Dexter takes his boat out, and the boat is just the water is just calm.
And he's literally 20 feet from the storm.
The boat's not even rocking. They're not even pretending it's actually in the water.
I know. It's like, no green screen here.
Well, basically, the episode, it involved basically Dexter. The episode, Dexter's going to head to Argentina with his girlfriend and his son.
Who is wanted by the FBI, yet refuses to even wear a hat.
No disguise whatsoever. She decides not to wear a disguise.
Just strolling through the airport.
Strolling for the airport. So he's going to relocate his son.
Talking loudly on her cell phone about how she's trying to escape.
She's trying to relocate his son. His son speaks no Spanish. She speaks no Spanish. Dexter speaks no Spanish. They have no plan. They don't have to say like, hey, we're going to go live here when we get to Buenos Aires. They're just like, we're going to land there and start a new life with your 4-year-old son. Who I think is retarded. Because the son only says things like, I love you. Hi. This is fun.
I like running on the treadmill and breaking my face.
If the reveal at the end of the series was that his son has Down syndrome, it would have been a little more like, I would have enjoyed that a little more.
You would have enjoyed that.
that would have made some sense. Like, oh, his son has Down syndrome. That's why he doesn't understand his dad's a killer. I love also how he's like supposed to be everyone always calls him a good father in the show. And like, he's a good father, except for the fact that he never sees his son, leaves it with a babysitter all the time to go off and murder.
Yeah, exactly.
What's your daddy doing now? I don't know. I don't really see him. He likes to murder people instead of spending time with me. Dad, I want to watch Sesame Street with you, but you're always off murdering people. I had to learn how to ride the bike from the nanny because you like to murder.
I like how every time they developed a plot line, they just forgot about it.
Yeah, the last season they were like he was going to train his a disciple, and then they just killed the disciple like an episode later.
And then they had like 4 episodes about Quinn trying to make sergeant, and then he didn't. But then they ignored the girl who got sergeant.
Yeah,
She was
you
literally
really have to watch this season to enjoy what we're talking about.
She was literally not in the rest of the season.
No, they also gave what's his name, the creepy guy,
Masuka.
Masuko. It's not even that creepy. It's just funny. A daughter, and and he was the creepy guy that like the leech like just talking about like sex a lot, and so they had him see his daughter's tits, and that was like, okay, we're done with that subplot.
Yeah.
Masuko's gonna get a daughter, see his daughter tits, and then we're gonna ignore the daughter from there.
I mean, if they wanted to have a hot girl show her tits, they didn't have to go through that entire plot line to do it.
It was a really bizarre, like, they just introduced subplots that had no bearing on anything. If it turned out at the end she had something to do with like the murder, that would have been great. Like in the second season, which is a great season, Quinn is on the show and he's dating some girl, and you don't really understand how she works into it. And at the end, she turns out to be the killer's like daughter, and it's a really cool twist.
Okay, let's do.
Oh, that was season 4, maybe. Yeah.
They're doing a spinoff, or they're talking about doing a spinoff from Dexter.
I just want to add one thing.
Okay.
That the best part is at the end of the show, Dexter wants to like kill himself, fix his own death because he feels like he's ruining everyone's lives. His idea is that he shouldn't be raising his son. Instead, he leaves his son in Argentina with a murderer. Instead of like shipping his son down to where his like his step siblings are, sorry, his half brother and sister are, he sends him off to Argentina where he doesn't speak the language, where his only accompaniment is a murderer.
And also somehow literally swims out of the ocean, out of a hurricane.
Not even a murderer, someone who tried to murder his sister. Son, you're going to spend the rest of your life being watched by a woman who went to jail for trying to murder your aunt. Yeah, and he at the big reveal at the end of the show is he's a lumberjack.
Yeah, because he was able to swim out of a hurricane in the middle of the ocean.
It really was just an absolutely terrible.
It was a complete disaster.
So anyhow, they're talking about spinoffs, and so we were trying to decide what spinoffs they should do.
Yep. So we came up with a top 5 of potential Dexter spinoffs.
Actually, we were supposed to have another co-host tonight, and I didn't do this top 5. I was going to do it on the spot because I thought we were doing a different top 5.
But it was your idea like a week ago.
Yeah, I know, but I'll just do it on the spot.
Okay.
I did the other top 5 though. I thought this comedian, someone was supposed to come over and do the show with us. He lives across the street from Jay. And what happened to him?
Who knows?
We're wondering. He was very responsive to all the emails and stuff, and was about to do the show, and I then hasn't responded since. And we're wondering if he's dead.
I literally got an email this morning, so I don't know. Maybe he gotten stuck in traffic from literally across the street.
But wouldn't it be like something where you're like, what? You spend the rest of the night being like, what an asshole, and then in the morning you find out he's dead, and you didn't do anything, but now you're gonna feel bad about yourself.
Yeah, I go to take out the trash, and like I just find his body stuffed into my garbage can.
Would you feel bad? You had nothing to do with his death. You don't really know him at all. But would you feel bad about thinking he was an asshole the night before?
Yeah. Maybe I would probably have to. I wouldn't unpost the episode, but I would probably do an apology the next episode.
I mean, generally in life, when someone stands you up or like doesn't make it for plans, it's a really matter. You think they're a jerk, but it's all about the end game. If they're still alive, they're a jerk. If they're dead, it was okay.
Right. Because, I mean, everyone checks their cell phones constantly. I sent him a text like an hour ago.
Yeah. So if
we saw it.
So if you're ignoring our plans, I don't hope you're dead, but I'd hope that you were a considerate person, which means that you're probably dead now.
That's the one good thing Facebook did. That when you send somebody a message,
yeah,
through the chat, you could see when they see the message.
You can?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
If you use the chat thing and you just type anything to somebody, it says seen under it as soon as they see it. So then you know they saw it and they kind of have to write back.
Oh, I didn't know that. I don't use the chat function that much, but I didn't realize you can actually see when they've seen it.
Yeah.
That's an annoying feature.
It's kind of cool because, like, it's happened to me before. Somebody sent me a message. I looked at it and I'm like, God damn it. A message just popped up that they saw it. Now I have to write back.
Okay, top 5 spinoffs for Dexter.
Yes.
Number one, I'll do mine first.
Okay.
We spend the rest the new show follows Hannah and Dexter's son Harrison in Argentina, where Hannah spends the whole time being going, God damn it, I have to raise this retarded kid because that fucking serial killer didn't make it down to Argentina. And they try to make it through Argentina with neither of them speaking Spanish. Though during the show, Hannah catches on to Spanish, but the son, played by now a 15-year-old, still isn't catching on to Spanish because he's actually retarded.
All right, my first one is Breaking Batista.
Breaking Batista, yeah.
So Angel decides that he's not making nearly enough as a cop or at his restaurant, and so he cooks meth. It's very similar to Breaking Bad, but you know,
Angel's the best
awesome.
part of this, and I wish we can talk about Breaking Bad because Jay hasn't caught up yet. Breaking Bad is the contrast is amazing. Breaking Bad is doing one of the greatest last seasons of a show I've ever seen. Maybe no, not one of the greatest last season of a show I've ever seen.
I'm very excited to see it.
The last, like they do two halves. The first, first of all, AMC's now breaking up all their shows into two halves.
Just call it a new season.
Mad Men now, the last season was going to be 14 episodes. They're breaking up into two seasons and making it 7 and 7. Like they're really milking these things.
I hate that.
And
shit.
also now AMC is doing spin-offs of all their shows. But so anyhow, the first 8 episodes of Breaking Bad's final season were like okay. They started getting better as they progressed because the show always has like a slow burn. But you're like, this is pretty good, but maybe the weakest of all in the Breaking Bad seasons, or maybe similar to season 1, like not that great. And then you start like the second half, the last 8 episodes, and from like episode 1 of this season, it's just awesome. Every episode, you're like on the edge of your seat the whole thing.
I'm very excited to see this.
And this Sunday is the season finale, series finale, I cannot wait to see this. But
All right.
yes, Breaking Batista. Okay, my next show. My next show follows Masuka and his daughter. They moved to Argentina and they lived together. No, you know what? Here's my new show. My new show follows Masuka as he explores the lines of taboo-ness as he dates his daughter. It'll be the grossest show you've ever seen in your life.
My number 2 is called Better Off Deb. And she goes through life not realizing that she's a ghost. It's kind of like Beetlejuice.
You have clever names for...
Yeah,
just like
all mine are clever names that are ripoffs of other shows.
Okay. My next show follows everyone's favorite character, the woman who beat out Quinn for the FBI,
Whose name we don't even know.
but instead of doing her life now, it's Flash. It's the whole show is about her in high school, and her growing into high school and her adventures then that helped lead her up to becoming sergeant in the Miami police force.
Nice.
It completely and utterly relates nothing to Dexter, but it's called Dexter's Detective: The Early Years.
My third one is called How I Met Your Masuka.
This is terrible. I don't even want to hear what you have to say.
It's going to run between 8 and 14 seasons. And it's going to get real old real fast.
So Dexter always used to talk. His dad, before the show starts, his dad had died many years ago, and Dexter's dad always like comes and talks to him about things. And then the second to last episode, his dad disappears basically because he doesn't need him anymore. So in my new show, his dad has to haunt a whole new person and convince this new person to go murder people that are bad,
but under the code.
but it's like this guy who's he's just like a librarian. He's like just like he's just like this he's just a librarian, whatever. And he's like, that guy stole the book. You should go murder him. He's like, why? Well, he committed bad things, and you have killing tendencies. No, I don't. I have organizing tendencies. That's why I'm a librarian. And it's just him arguing with this guy the whole time. It's like a weird Odd Couple show.
Nice. My fourth one is Quinn Peaks. It follows.
Oh God, these puns are terrible.
It's Quinn in a small town with murder and intrigue, and it gets canceled after the second season. Come on, that's awesome. Quinn Peaks. I've been waiting all week to break that one out.
My next show is called Dokes. It follows the only character that was ever interesting on the show besides Dexter, and that's Dokes. And he basically just plays the guy from The Shield and just reenacts that whole show.
Scene for scene, a reenactment.
It's like, hey, haven't I seen this before? No, you saw a show about a cop who pushes the boundaries, but that guy was white. This guy's black. They had the best thing online. They said they had a better ending for Dexter. And it was they showed like the end of Dexter. You know, they cut to him at like at the wood shop thing, the tree logger, and they're showing that scene, and then it cuts to Dokes. He goes, "Surprise, motherfucker!"
Nice.
And that would have been the best way for the show to have ended. If Dokes was introduced at the end of the show, you would have said, "Forget the whole season. That was great."
My last one is Harry and Hannah and the Hendersons. And Hannah realizes that the Hendersons were able to hide a real-life Sasquatch for 20 years, so they could probably keep her hidden too. And so she lives with the Hendersons. And then we get John Lithgow back too.
My last show is a spin-off, but it's actually on the Playboy channel.
Didn't you already have 5?
Oh, I don't know. It's called Nanny Porn. And it's just Harrison's nanny does porn. She's kind of hot.
Yeah. Can she get with the reporter that Quinn was sleeping with like 2 seasons ago?
Yeah, that would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Let's okay, we're done with Dexter.
And we learned today that Marc hates puns.
Let's do our other top 5. We did another top 5.
I was so excited about my puns. I can't believe you didn't like those.
They're so clever. We did a totally different topic for people that don't watch Dexter. And if you watch Dexter, you probably couldn't have a conversation. So we did top 5 things. We thought there's a comedian coming on, so we thought this would be in his wheelhouse. But top 5 things to do to drive people crazy at work. And I tried to keep it, but I guess I didn't mention this. The things that wouldn't actually get you fired, but it would drive people crazy.
Okay.
But did you do the top 5?
No, we'll do a reverse. No, I didn't do the top 5.
Why didn't you do the top 5? Did I tell you about this one?
You did. I'm a busy guy. I was crawling around on roofs and running to the UPS store with satellite parts.
Okay.
And then I was trying to set up my one microphone so that you can hear it with 2 people, which was completely frivolous activity.
Well, don't speak ill of the dead. What kind of injury would this guy have to have that you'd be like, what's the minimum injury he has to have for you to be like, what would the minimum thing that has to happen to him that you'd be okay?
Well, I would think a hospital visit, which is weird because he is a regular at my favorite bar that I'm at every Friday. So I'm bound to run into him within the next 1 to 8 days.
What if he just had sprained his ankle, but didn't have to go to the hospital? And he didn't, but he doesn't respond to you also. It doesn't tell you that you're just going to run to him on Friday. What would be the excuse? Would that be okay? They sprained his ankle?
He better have a clear limp tomorrow.
What if his father died?
I need to see a death certificate.
What if he says, I was watching the news that S.H.I.E.L.D. Avenger show, and I got really into it?
I'll be like, it was on 2 days ago.
Well, I DVR'd it, and I put it on at 8:25 with the plan coming over, but it was pretty good, so I watched the whole thing and then forgot about you. What if you find out that he has the condition of that guy from Memento?
What if I find out he's just a dick?
What if tomorrow you're on Craigslist and you see something under missed connections? I was the comedian supposed to come over at 8:30 for your show. You were the show that I was supposed to be on. Missed connections.
Like, that was a very roundabout way to text me back.
Okay, so top 5 things to drive people crazy at work. Mm-hmm. My number 1. You ever participate in a office lottery pool?
Yes.
Yeah. So every time you don't win, get really pissed. Hey, Sheila, did we win the lottery? No, we didn't win. Fuck! You mean, why the fuck, when I put my dollar in, we weren't going to win? Well, Sheila, just tell me, what the fuck? You picked the wrong numbers? Well, I didn't pick. They just self-generated numbers. Self-generated? You let them pick the numbers for you? You have to pick the numbers yourself? God damn it. Why are you so bad at this? God. Just get, like, break stuff. You're like, fuck. I guess I still have to work here now, Sheila. Fuck this up for me again.
Mine is to constantly microwave popcorn. Because everyone wants someone you do that, and it smells so good.
Who's making popcorn? That's me again.
It must be every other hour.
I just like popcorn. It's so light and fluffy. It feels like I haven't even eaten anything. It's part of my diet, my popcorn diet.
Of course I won't share.
Anyone can have some except for you, Sheila, because you fucking lost the lottery for us. My second one is that anytime you meet someone new at work, you should introduce yourself by saying, hey, yo, regardless of what you heard, I was exonerated of all charges, and I did not have to register as a sex offender. So, anyhow. No, I don't want to talk about it anymore. No, nothing happened. I'm not a sex offender. That's all.
Mine would be to just laugh really loudly every few minutes.
Kind of like the guy from Cape Fear.
Yeah, exactly.
Jay, what's so funny? Nothing. Something on my computer. Jay, your computer's off. Yeah, I know, that was funny.
And I've been here 3 hours and my computer's still off. That's hilarious.
My pencil. It's a number 2. They always ask about number 2s. Super glue your hand to your desk at work, and put like nail polish remover gets it out. So just like move that, but just out of your reach, and just scream for help. And when someone comes to you, they give you the nail polish remover. They get your hand off the desk, and just do it again the next day, and just do it every day.
My next one would be, I had one and I just totally lost it. I just totally lost my mind. Go to your number 4 and then I'll
my number 4. Ask your coworker what they're having for lunch today. Whatever they respond, grimace and say, you know, I don't judge people, but I don't really eat things that used to be living. A burger. How do you, I mean, whatever. How do you do that? I mean, like, I would never eat something that used to be living. I'm just that. A salad? I mean, it used to be alive. What the hell?
Wear the squeakiest shoes you can find and print everything up at the farthest printer you can find.
Or just like one day they're like, dude, your shoes are taking forever to break in. Oh, no, I have just one of those squeaky ducks in my shoes. I just like the sound. Bring a U.S. flag to work and insist your coworkers recite the pledge with you every morning.
You can make them say grace with you before lunch every day too.
Yeah, Jim, I know you got to finish that project, but this is the fucking America. Do you not care about America?
What are you, a terrorist?
Yeah. You got to do. It's more important to do the deal with the Russians than pledge allegiance to your country.
My next one, just sniffle constantly. That'll definitely drive people up the wall.
Or do it on the show.
Or do it all episode.
The listeners write in and be like, Marc, stop sniffling. You're driving us fucking insane.
That happened once.
I also have my own segment. This wasn't a top 5 list for you, but I wanted to do just really, I only have 2 items for this, but here's how my son is driving me crazy this week.
Another top 5?
No, dude, I just have 2 things for it. I don't have a top 5. The first thing is my son's, for anyone that doesn't know, I have a 2-year-old at home. Anyhow, so what's he doing this week to drive me crazy? So when we're on the subway, he touches everything and immediately sticks his hand all the way in his mouth.
Oh, he's going to regret that.
He tries to get it's like he's trying to get every germ. Like he rubs his hand all over the subway seat, on all of the seat, everywhere, and just like keeps throwing his hand to his mouth. And he doesn't like just like kind of suck on his fingers, like the tips of his fingers.
Just the entire fist.
the whole thing all the way in his mouth. Like he wants to make sure the germs have no problem getting to his throat. Like we're gonna make sure the germs don't fall out.
Oh,
And
I
he
just
keeps
want to
doing
say,
it, and you keep telling him stop, just stop. Don't put your hand. Oh, and you tell him not to. He just does it more.
yeah, then he thinks it's a game.
Yeah. It's immediately when you tell him not to, it just becomes a game. And then it's just try to get every germ off of things.
I caught up on your blog. I just want to say it was highly entertaining.
Oh, you finished it?
I did, yeah. I finished it like a couple weeks ago. Newdaddyhood.wordpress.com. Marc updated his blog every day for the first 2 years of his son's birth, and it was comical, but you also learned a lot. It was good stuff.
Yeah. So when you have a little kid, maybe you'll.
I'm going to go back and start from day one and be like, all right, what happened when there was diaper rash? What did Marc do?
I may or have not decided if I'm definitely going to update it for. I have a second one on the way in March, and I have not decided whether I'm going to update it for that one. Of course, that child will feel really unloved if I don't.
You'll be like, oh, okay, Zach had 500 entries and I get 0. That's cool.
You know, when our first son Zach was born, I wrote about him every day for the first 2 years of his life. When our second child was born, we took a picture.
Yeah, I updated my Facebook status.
I just said, new child. Like, here's the second way my son's now driving me crazy. I guess I could write these things down in the blogs. So now when he's taking a bath, his new thing to do is to, I sit by the bath with him, is to jump out of the bath. He's naked. Jump naked onto me out of the bath. He just catapults himself out of the bath onto me naked and just wants to lay there with his head in my lap. And you try to move him to get him into some kind of normal position. He screams, gets up, runs back into the bath, then catapults himself immediately back into my lap.
Lovely.
He keeps doing this in the attempt to kill himself. I don't know.
And how long does he want to stay there drenching you?
Oh, he just leaves he's in some weird yoga position with his head in my legs and he's in a downward dog position and just wants to just stay there, just not move. And you have to try to move him, and my wife's like, don't move, too careful with his head, you're gonna break it. I'm like, I'm not gonna break him, okay? I've got him for 2 years now, I'm not gonna break him.
Oh, that sounds like fun.
Yeah. And now we could and you also deal with, I was thinking about just doing a blog related to conversations with him, because now we just have the most random conversations with him. He just comes up with things. You're like, he has a shirt that says Superman on it. And I was like, hey Zach, do you want to fly like Superman? Fly like an airplane? No, that's not safe. Really? How would you even?
This is a guy who sprints around the house with reckless abandon and climbs over everything, right?
Yeah. And then he's like, no, he's like, that's not safe. Yeah, he basically tries to finish. He's always one, a half an inch from being in a coma. So what's new with you?
Let's see. I saw a really crazy guy on the subway, which I guess is nothing special, but
you call that a Monday?
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes you just know that people are trouble, and I don't know. This one guy was he looked a little creepy, and he was slumped over. There's those subway spots that are just 2 seats, and he was kind of slumped over, taking both of them up. And this girl comes on and just asks them to move and sits, in the other part of it. And the guy just stares at her for 3 straight stops, and I'm like, this is not going to end well.
This is her fault, not his fault.
Right. And
if she's ever been to New York before, she knows that the guy slumped over, you let him have his seats.
I think she thought I'm a tough New York girl and I'm just gonna take a seat because I want to sit. And so during the 4th stop, when we're getting to the 4th stop, he just starts rubbing her arm. I don't know what goes through a guy's mind. It's like that South Park episode where they're like, step 1, steal underwear. Step 2, question mark. Step 3, money. This guy was step 1, rub arms. Step 2, question mark. Step 3, having sex with hot girl.
I mean, this guy, is he probably homeless maybe? No girl normally puts any contact with him whatsoever. No one ever sits next to him. He figures like she's sitting next to me. I've stared at her for 3 stops.
And she didn't get up.
I think this is foreplay. Let me rub her arm, and then I will have forcible sex with her.
Yeah.
I don't know. I actually had a moment. I was walking in the street and I saw 2 people. You know how you walking, the other person walking at you, and you kind of do a little dance because you both walk left, you both walk right.
Mm-hmm.
So I saw that 2 other people doing it, but it was great because one woman was like a businesswoman dressed in like a suit, whatever, and the other was a big, fat, extraordinarily homeless man, crazy looking man. And you could just see her, the grimace on her face, like, I can't believe I'm doing this, like, he broke right, and, like, that probably ruined her week. I enjoyed that.
Nice. Let's see, what else? I have a few news stories if you want to
Yeah.
talk about those. There was... Did we talk about the woman who murdered her son because she was fighting about ice cream?
Tell me.
Well, her son wanted ice cream.
I think you already told me the whole story, actually.
I think I told you offline. Her son wanted ice cream, and I guess she didn't want him to have ice cream, and she ended up stabbing him to death.
How old was her son?
17.
How big of a deal was it to have the ice cream?
Why is a 17-year-old asking for ice cream? Go out and buy the goddamn ice cream. So
What's the big... I want the Ben & Jerry's. That's for mommy. I'm going to stab you to death if you try to take it. Ha ha, mom. No, son. I'm going to. If you touch my
Haagen-Dazs.
my Ben & Jerry's brownie ice cream, I'm going to murder you and get the electric chair.
Well, she said she didn't stab him to death. He simply walked into a knife she was holding.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Although the coroner said that was inconsistent with medical findings.
That was inconsistent with what happens actually in reality.
That was inconsistent with the violent stabbing that occurred.
She walked repeatedly into my knife. There was another case, actually, another news story that I thought was interesting. So there was a teacher who had sex with his teacher was like 50s, in his 50s, and the student was 14. Do you consider that rape?
Yeah, I think that's pretty creepy.
Yeah. So apparently, and it's called statutory rape, meaning when if the person below the age of consent, it's considered just by law rape because they couldn't consent to having sex.
Right.
Which is true everywhere, but in Montana.
Okay.
In Montana, if you're young but act old, they don't really call it rape.
Oh.
The judge said the 14-year-old acted older than her chronological age. This was a judge.
When? Like in court?
No, I guess with the teacher.
Well, how would the judge know?
I guess from whatever the evidence was presented. Who cares what, like, if he could have been there the whole time. He just said the 14-year-old acted mature, so she couldn't have been raped.
Well, doggy style is a very mature position.
Your Honor, she was a very mature 11-year-old. Oh, well, she was mature. Okay, totally cool. He ended up having to do a 30-day prison sentence.
Oh, 30 days. Good.
30 days. The teenager, you know how she's doing?
Mm-hmm.
Dead. She killed herself over it.
Jesus.
Pretty bad story, but in Montana, totally cool.
Killing yourself isn't very mature.
No, but how mature was she? She was not 14. The best part of the story, though, is I was looking in the comment section. Where's the comment? I gotta find this comment. Damn it, I thought the comment would just be at the top of the page.
It's like that Mr. Show sketch where the rest of the life the person is to go around calling himself a pedophile. I love that shit.
That's a great bit. Well, anyhow, the first comment on the page was some guy being like, let's be clear, this is not really rape. I mean, like, she had consensual sex with him. So, I mean, just because she was 14 doesn't really mean it was rape. We should really try to, it was something, I was like, I can't believe we live in a country where, A, this case comes out, and that a judge says it's okay, and then the first commenter of the story is like, it's not really rape. I mean, like, come on. It was consensual. I mean, like, I've had consensual sex with a 14-year-old. Anyhow, that's just a really disturbing story.
Yeah. Mine's a little more comical.
It could be less comical.
This guy got into an accident and he lost part of his nose. Yeah. So this hospital decided that they would grow another nose on him and using some cartilage, and I guess it would get bigger, over the course of time. And then when it grew to the size of a full nose, they would remove it and put it where his nose should be.
Yeah.
But they grew it upside down on his forehead.
How did they even do that?
I don't know, but couldn't they have found a better position and a better place? I mean, he obviously can't even go out in the rain now. And it's on his forehead. Couldn't they put it on, like, the back of his arm, like, facing downward?
That story is really creepy.
Yeah, I don't like it. There's a picture of it, and it's really gross.
Don't tell me the picture. What other stories I have here? Did you know Area 51 actually exists?
Yeah.
Well, the CIA acknowledged that it actually exists.
Oh, good.
Well, you're a 9/11 truther, so you probably believe aliens are real also.
You don't think aliens are real?
Are you not? You're a 9. Let's just let everyone know. Jay thinks that 9/11 was actually planned by the chipmunks.
You don't think there's aliens?
I don't think. Not that have visited here.
But you think there's? You
believe in ghosts and stuff. You're really like
But you think there's?
Do you believe in gremlins?
You really don't believe in aliens?
I don't believe any of these. Anyone has seen an alien.
Okay, well, I mean, that's fine. If you don't believe, like, the hick in the pickup truck got abducted and anally raped, that's fine. But, I mean...
I don't believe there's been an alien that's been here. I don't think any of these reports are accurate. How's that?
Okay.
What do you believe?
I don't know, because it seems like they only pick up hicks in the middle of the woods, which seems a little weird. I do believe
it works out well for us, because they pick up the hicks, and they're like, there's no reason to come back.
Yeah, there's no intelligent life on Earth. I mean, I do believe there's aliens. I don't believe most of these people who say they got raped in the middle of the woods by an alien.
I mean, I guess what would you do if your person sits next to you at work told you that, like, a Monday? Oh, how was your weekend? I was actually raped. Oh, really? It was a Martian. Why are you laughing? This is serious. This is serious? Yeah, an alien raped me. Do you want to look at the scars?
I'd be like, well, why didn't you, like, use a sick day?
Because that would be the most awkward sick day. Why are you out today? I was raped by an alien.
You'd probably just say I'm sick and leave it at that.
Yeah, if you were raped by an alien, would you tell anyone?
I don't know. It's like on the one hand, nobody's gonna believe you. On the other hand, how can you keep a story like that to yourself? It's like a catch-22.
Yeah, and you don't want to be the guy like he's the first guy that's actually been proven to have made contact with aliens. He made contact in his butt.
Here's his picture and his address.
Yeah. There was what movie was I watching? It was terrible. Did you see the movie The Watch? It's like about a neighbor. It's with Ben Stiller and
no.
Vince Vaughn. They have a neighborhood watch, and they find out there's an alien's plot to take over the world. But anyhow, they find the alien, and they don't want to tell that. They're like, we shouldn't tell anyone about the alien we found. I think if I found an alien, I would immediately tell people.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah,
I think a lot of people would know.
I have another story. There's a September 11th Memorial Chevrolet It's this Chevrolet Nova that's painted with all these images from 9/11, and it's for sale for $30 million.
America.
It's a 1975 Chevrolet Nova. It has all these pictures of the flag and things from 9/11, including, for some reason, there's Saddam Hussein's on there.
Okay.
But no real linkage. But I have to think this is being sold by the biggest asshole alive.
And also bought by the second biggest asshole alive.
It's being billed as a 9/11 memorial on wheels.
If I won the
It's
lotto,
been signed by governors and senators and has traveled across the U.S., reminding people of the tragedy that took place on 9/11, 2001. That's a quote from the ad.
if I won the lotto, I would like to buy that and just bring it to a destruction yard and get it crumpled.
It would be funny that you show up to work in your 9/11 memorial car. It's like one of the more offensive things I've ever seen. The fact that it's for $30 million. On its face, it's really just weird in the first place.
Wait.
The fact that they're trying to make this much of a profit off this thing.
30 million?
30 million.
Jesus Christ.
There's a full color page ad in the Hemmings Motor News.
Wow.
I don't think it'll get 30 million.
No, probably not.
The book value is 5,000.
Jesus. Did you hear about Barilla pasta?
What's that?
It's a famous spaghetti brand.
Spell it?
Barilla.
Oh, Barilla. Yeah. What about it?
He said gays can eat someone else's pasta. I think I have the audio here. Let's see.
What's wrong with that? He's saying gay people are allowed to eat other people's pasta. He's saying they don't spread germs? What's he trying to say?
He said he likes the traditional family, and you're not going to see any gays in Barilla's advertising. And if gays don't like it, they could eat somebody else's pasta. I don't know why he decided to just come out with that, but apparently,
yeah. Why would you possibly have to state even if this is how you felt? Why would you think it would be a good idea to explain this?
Just so you guys know, I really, really hate gay people, and I'd really rather them not eat my pasta.
What was it like? It was like a mail, dear Barilla Pasta. I've noticed in your advertisements there are not a lot of gay people having sex. Could you please? Could you please explain?
I mean, I see people eating pasta.
Dear loyal Barilla customer, we are never going to have gay people having sex in our advertisements. We're a wholesome brand, and we don't like gay people. Just want to make that part clear. Anyhow, talk to you later. Eat someone else's pasta.
I mean, I saw bow tie pasta. I saw fusilli. I saw spaghetti. I saw some fettuccine. I did not see any hardcore anal sex. What is wrong with your company?
You can buy some organic queer pasta if you want, but Barilla ain't for you.
But Barilla is a man's pasta.
It's the same as the Chick-fil-A guy. Why do you need to state he sells chicken sandwiches? Why do you need to state your views on gay people?
Yeah, I don't understand. Can't you just be a complete bigot in the privacy of your own home?
Do you like bananas? We had a banana company make great bananas. We also hate black people. Anyhow, just wanted to point that out.
Anche la Kenji immaginavo lì in una pubblicità del signor Barilla, magari non che serve ai tavoli.
Con una famiglia, dici, per dare
Non
l'idea di
che
una
serve
famiglia.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm glad he speaks only Italian. They're like, here's the audio if you want to hear it, but you won't understand a word he's saying.
Do you like Cuisinart, the coffee maker? Well, the people at Cuisinart hate Jews. Anyhow, please enjoy your coffee.
And then he kind of sort of backtracked the next day.
What do you think people would do? What is there a company out there that could say this and still get away with making lots of money?
Chick-fil-A.
Oh, I guess they're still around, and everyone people are actually buying more and protesting the gay people.
Yeah, they had like a celebrate Chick-fil-A day like right afterwards.
What the hell's wrong with people? Also, like he just said he hated gay people. I'm gonna buy more chicken.
I don't know. People are just all sorts of messed up.
What if the people that the owners there over there at Google said that they hated gypsies? Would you stop using Google?
Are there still gypsies?
I assume.
Like
what class? What if they just hated Canadians? They
that,
said Canadians are subhumans.
that would be nobody hates Canadian. That would be weird. I don't know. Like, I'm not gonna stop using Google.
What if Google said something a little harsher? They're like, "Hey, we enjoy that you like our Gmail, our search engine. We just don't like Spix."
I'll be like, oh well, I'm gonna use Google twice as much now because I fully support their views on hating people for no reason.
It's like the suggestions are like, LAZY Jews? Okay.
So we're about out of time. One last news thing.
Yes.
Facebook is going to have video ads soon that autoplay, just like if you listen to our Knicks podcast,
Are you kidding me?
does.
Really?
Yes. So in the feed, you'll be scrolling down, and then a video will start playing automatically.
Oh God.
Yeah.
I hate those so much.
They're the worst. We do a Knicks podcast. It's called the New York Knicks podcast. And sometimes I go to ESPN during the show and I look at a box score and then they just have a news story just start playing. And
You agree that Facebook is just getting more and more annoying, right?
it's gonna end eventually. I heard that the younger generation doesn't even use Facebook because everyone's parents are on it and they don't want to, be on the same thing as their parents. So I
what
think
do they use?
they use like what's that? Instagram and Twitter, and it's not really like like a MySpace type site anymore. It's more just like posting shit. I guess like whatever Instagram is. I don't even do Instagram.
It'd be great if they went the other way. Like, yeah, what are you guys doing? How do you guys communicate? We call each other. I started writing letters to people that I know.
Yeah. So
that's yeah.
that'll be it for me. If they start doing those auto ads, I'm done with that.
I mean, what do you do with Facebook these days? Like, I go on there in the morning, just basically for our Knicks stuff more than anything, and then I scroll through the news feed real quick, see if there are any interesting stories people put up, or like pictures of people that are their kids, or anything that looks interesting, and then that's pretty much it. Then I just check our Knicks site a couple times.
Yeah, I mean, I use it mostly for the Knicks site now. I mean, I look at see if anything. Sometimes people post interesting news stories, but it's usually like pictures of babies or, just misinformed links to, or a lot of spoilers for shows, which apparently people find completely necessary to post as soon as the show ends. I watch no shows when it's on. Like, we're ending the show in 2 minutes. It'll be 10 o'clock. If a show that I watch is on at 10 o'clock, I will wait till tomorrow so I don't have to watch commercials.
Yeah, DVR is well. You also have to do that because your TV flickers on and off, like it's possessed.
Even if that's fixed, though, like I will. Why waste 15 minutes watching commercials?
No, that's true. That's a good point. I hate commercials, but I'm going to do that for Breaking Bad. Though I'm going to watch it right when it happens. I don't care about the commercials. That's how badly I want to see it. Yeah, I'll do it. So if the show I really want to watch, I'll just watch it anyhow. But
yeah, I don't know. I just like even if you watch it when it's on, do you feel compelled to just go on Facebook and post the ending of it?
no, I don't feel compelled to post a lot of things on Facebook. And there are people that post like their philosophies on Facebook. They have long comments, and then people are responding and they're having conversation. I'm like, just email each other.
Don't you love when people post like a frowny face and they get like 30 comments?
We can go on about Facebook all day long.
Yeah. All right, so that's our show. Oh, yeah, we are on Facebook. Just type in Brink of Sanity on Facebook. You could leave us an iTunes review. That would be cool.
With the Knicks show season starting soon, tune in for our next episode of Brink in July.
We did all right this summer. We pumped out like 2 a month.
Yeah. Maybe we'll do another one before the Knicks season starts, and then less so since after that.
Yeah.
If you want to hear another Brink show soon, give us feedback, and we'll do another show.
Yeah, we get really excited that like if one person emails us, we're like, oh, okay, now we'll do shows. You could leave us an email, thebrinkofsanity@gmail.com. And I said Facebook, if you want to leave us a voicemail, 631-676-1181. Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess that's it, right?
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Okay. We'll be back, I don't know, whenever we're back. So thanks for listening, everybody.
Bye, bye, love. Goodbye, everybody. It's all over. Goodbye. It's time to go. This is the end. Say goodbye. You better go away. I'm gonna leave.